Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're going to talk about a SQL command that is incredibly simple, super powerful, and just absolutely essential for good database security. It's the revoke command. And really, it's all about one thing, taking back the keys to your data kingdom.
So, to really get why revoke is so important, we first have to understand the problem it's built to solve. And that problem is having way too many keys floating around.
I want you to imagine your database as a super secure building, filled with rooms of valuable information. Now ask yourself this really simple but really critical question. Who actually has the keys to this building?
See, every single time you use the SQL grant command, what you're essentially doing is creating a key and handing it out. You're giving a user permission to open a very specific door, maybe to select from the customer table or to insert data into the orders table.
And that's totally fine. I mean, when people need that access. But what happens when an employee switches roles or moves to a totally different project or, leaves the company altogether? The thing is, they just don't need that key anymore. But if you don't do anything about it, they often still have that key. And this right here, this creates what we call lingering permissions. And trust me, that is a massive security hole just waiting for someone to exploit it. So, how do we fix this, right? How do we go around collecting all those old, unnecessary keys? Well, that brings us to the hero of our story today, the revoke command. To put it simply, revoke is the command for taking away user permissions on a specific database object, like a table or a view. It's the official, clean, and direct way to manage who gets in and who doesn't. It's really the perfect other half to grant. If grant is the act of handing out a shiny new key, revoke is you, the database admin, firmly but politely taking it back and saying, hey, thanks, but your access isn't needed anymore. This relationship is just fundamental to database security. Grant unlocks the doors by giving out permissions. Revoke comes right behind it and locks them back up. For any truly secure system, you absolutely have to have both sides of that coin. All right, so we get the why. Now let's get into the how. Let's take a look at how this command is actually structured. And honestly, it's a lot more straightforward than you might think. The whole command's logic is really built around answering three easy questions. First, what? What specific permission are you taking away? Is it the ability to read data with select, or to change it with insert or update? Second, on what? On what object are you revoking this permission? The employees table? The sales view? And third, from whom? Which user account is about to lose their privilege? And here's what that looks like in the wild. Revoke select on employees from former employee. See how perfectly it follows that what, on what, from whom structure? We revoke the select privilege on the employees table from the user former employee. It's simple, it's powerful, and it's incredibly precise. Okay, knowing the syntax is one thing, but really understanding its impact in the real world, well, that's everything. This isn't just some obscure command you'll never use. It's a foundational tool for any responsible data management. I absolutely love this principle. Grant privileges sparingly, revoke them promptly. It just gets right to the heart of a good security posture. Access should always be treated like a temporary loan, not a permanent gift. And this is exactly why revoke is so critical. It directly boosts your security by shutting down potential attack vectors. It enforces that vital principle of least privilege, making sure users only have the bare minimum access they need to do their jobs. And on top of all that, it's a non-negotiable tool for compliance with data regulations like GDPR, and it ultimately protects your data's integrity by lowering the risk of somebody accidentally or maliciously changing things they shouldn't. So let's bring this all home. Let's wrap up with the single biggest takeaway from all of this. Here's the most important thing to remember. Revoke isn't just the line of code you type. It represents a security-first mindset. It's about being diligent, being proactive, and being responsible when it comes to protecting what is probably your organization's most valuable asset, its data. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. When you look at your own systems, your own databases, are all of your digital doors truly locked? Or are there maybe a few old, forgotten keys still out there, just waiting for the wrong person to find them?